Mirror. Hi guys, time for movie chat, which we're chatting about Oculus by Mike Flanagan, which I've never seen before, and yes, I was terrified while I was watching it. I'll just add everyone in. So we've got Emma, Larissa and Brooker pop up. I'll add them in as well. Oh dear, hopefully I've added Emma in. Ooh, Emma. Hello. Oh,
Hello.
Emma.
Oh.
Oh no.
I should have held up a mirror, shouldn't I?
That's what I thought you was going to do.
I thought I wouldn't do that to you, Shelley. I know this one scared you.
That's why I was like, ooh. Like, is there going to be a mirror there? Right, just add Larissa in, and then I'll just invite Brooker. I haven't seen him pop up yet, but I'm sure he'll be here. Hiya.
Hi.
Hello, you okay?
Yeah.
Emma tried.
I thought about doing a mirror thing.
You too.
I couldn't be bothered carrying on. Hi, Brooker.
Hi, Brooker.
Hello.
Can't see
Hi, Brooker.
Shelley.
Hiya. You okay?
Hey, everyone.
Oh, is Brooker there?
Can y'all hear me?
Oh,
okay?
hello. Yeah, I can hear you now.
There might be a little bit of a lag on my side, but I hope that y'all can hear me.
Oh, thanks for joining us. Thank you. And thanks for making me watch this film that made me have nightmares.
I can't see you, Shelley.
Oh, there's a glitch. One of you probably can't see me.
Oh.
There's like a glitch that Instagram does. I don't know why it's doing it.
It's usually me. It's usually me.
You can try going off and come back on, but I don't think it's going to fix it, Larissa. I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's doing it, but I mean, it might be a blessing that you can't see me, really, to be honest. But you know, can you see everybody else?
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, Cash has put hello, just here because I am a hoe for Flanagan. Yeah.
As everyone should be.
Oh, well,
I've been trying to make everybody.
Yeah, I'm definitely converted now. I'm a full fan. But thanks for joining us. So we've had the brilliant Emma joining us today, and
Hello.
the brilliant Larissa, and the awesome Brooker. Yay! Thanks for joining us. And Josh, this is going to be a tongue twister. Josh is away on his jollies. That's what I was trying to say. Having a wonderful time. But yeah, please do. I can't speak tonight. Please do pre-order Heads Will Roll by Joshua Winning because it's so good. So today we're going to be talking about Oculus, so from 2013. There will be spoilers ahead, probably from the offset. So just to warn you, if you haven't seen the film, there will be spoilers. But hopefully we've all seen the film. Hopefully. I was like this. But yeah, it's an American supernatural psychological horror film, co-written and edited by and directed by Mike Flanagan, and it's based on his short film Oculus Chapter 3, The Man with the Plan.
That's on YouTube, so if anyone wants to see it, I have seen it.
Okay. I'm going to check that out, definitely.
Sure, I sent you the link quite a long time ago, Brooker, but to be fair, I send you a lot of recommendations if you haven't seen it.
Narissa's seen everything, so yeah, she'll let me know where everything is.
Larissa's always got the good recommendation. Yes, and it stars Karen Gillan, who I love, and Brenton Thwaites, I think I'm saying that right, as two young adult siblings who are convinced that an antique mirror is responsible for the death and misfortune that their family has suffered. Apparently, the definition of Oculus means circular or oval window, or a circular opening at the top of a dome, or an eye. And I was like, an eye? Ooh, scary. And apparently Stephen King loved this movie. So, it got a recommendation from Stephen King.
And he went on to do some of the best King adaptations.
Yes, of course he did, yeah. So Doctor Sleep and Gerald's Game. I can't say it. I haven't seen that yet. I'm not brave enough. Not brave enough for that. I've heard about it. I've heard about it. And I saw that Sharon in the chat said she's brought snacks, an apple and a night bulb.
Perfect snacks.
That's all over the trailer. I remember that.
And Dustin's put the rewatch recaps. Put Brenton Thwaites was the prince in. Oh, I can't say it. Maleficent.
Yep.
And Robin/Dick Grayson on Titans TV series. I've not seen that. Need to check that out.
I haven't seen him in anything else, but I thought he's really good.
I think was he in one of the Pirates of the Caribbean films? It's like Orlando Bloom's son or something. Oh, I don't know whether that's a spoiler. Let's move on. just in case that might have been a spoil. I've just spoiled something. So was Oculus a first time watch for you, or have you seen it before? What were your memories from when you first watched it, Emma?
I've never seen it before. This was my first watch, but I love Flanagan stuff. Like, I love Midnight Mass. That's probably my favourite. And House of Usher, you know, so I thought, oh, this is going to be quite scary going into it, or quite psychologically damaging. So I knew what to expect, but I've never seen it before, no.
No. Oh, I hadn't seen it before either. How about you, Brooker? You'd seen it before, right?
Yeah, I've seen it a handful of times before this, and the first time it came out when I was in college, and the first time I saw it, it was a Redbox rental. So just, I think me, my girlfriend at the time, went to a Redbox, just grabbed a few DVDs for the weekend, and this was one of them. And I remember it. It definitely spooked me then, and it still spooks me now. So.
Oh. Say that bit again, Brooker. We lost you.
Oh, sorry about that. I was just saying, when we did rent it from Redbox the first time, it did spook me then, and it still spooks me now.
Yeah, definitely. It's spooky.
What's Redbox? Is that like Blockbuster?
It's
like a vending machine type thing for film.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a vending machine kiosk that they put like in front of like convenience stores, like pharmacies here, and you can just go like rent a DVD.
That's so cool.
And you're just charged like X amount of dollars a day. You can just return it whenever you're ready.
Oh, that's cool. That is. I wish they did that over here. That was cool. How about you, Lewis? I know you're a fan of this film because I know you were saying, "Watch this, Shelley. It's going to scare you."
I gave you a caution. Definitely.
You did give me a caution. I was thankful as well.
I offered to virtually hold your hand through it.
You did.
I first saw it about 8 years ago, after Hush first came out, because that was the first of his I saw on Netflix. I was like, oh my god, this is so to my taste. What else has this guy done? And tracked them all down, I could see. And yeah, it was very, very creepy. And it did like with me. And then I remember I was working night shifts at the time. I was like a support worker. I was doing waking nights.
Yeah.
But I was the only like waking nights. There was like a sleep-in person. But like in the hall of the house, that like where I would stay would be the lounge, and then you could see straight through to the end of the hall, and there was a big massive mirror on the so I'd be like wandering around, and like I was probably catching my own reflections. I'd be like
oh no we don't like that.
I'd be like, can we just cover it up a little bit or just move it? just hide it from me. Oh, that's creepy.
I remember when I first saw it, it was one of like at the time it creeped me out more than anything I'd seen for quite a while. Definitely,
yeah, definitely. It's like Sharon says, it's such a great slow creep of a film, not scary but fabulous atmosphere. I agree with that. It was I mean, this was the first time I'd watched it, and there was just something about it that I just couldn't take my eyes away from what was going on. Even if I was looking through like my fingers some of the times, I just couldn't stop watching it because I was just like, I was fully invested in the story and what was going on. And I did give myself a headache after, because I found it so intense that I was just like, oh, a bit like when I watched like Talk to Me, when we watched that a few months ago. That gave me a massive headache because it was just so intense watching it, but I just couldn't tear my eyes away from it. So yeah, went to bed with a headache. I watched it on a Friday night before bed, so that probably wasn't the best thing to do. So initially the studios were interested in the film as a found footage format. However, Flanagan was completely opposed to it, and passed on all the offers to do with found footage. So obviously there's an element of them filming themselves, so I get why they would suggest it. But do you think it would have worked as a found footage film, Larissa?
No, I don't think so, because of how much is in the past, and you wouldn't have had all of that past story work out so well. I don't see it working as well, because I think it works really well as it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I'll maybe save that for a bit later. Anyway.
Yeah. How about you, Brooker? Do you think it would work as a found footage?
No, I agree with Narissa. For the same thing as she said, I think the way that it is structured, it has to be kind of like that third person objective sort of view into it. And I don't think the way that it's written doesn't work for found footage.
Especially with how the two of them, what you're saying, because if someone has control of the camera, you're seeing it through, like if it was Kaylee, you're seeing her perspective, but the whole conflict is them disagreeing about what happened and her wanting to prove to him.
Right. And then like
it wouldn't work.
And then they use the cameras on their phone and the camcorders as proof of like what is actually happening. So so then you just be watching a lot of people having just like freaking out over nothing that you're not seeing.
No, I agree with that. I don't know what's just happened, right, but all my lights have just gone off. So I'm like, as he was talking,
check your mirrors.
But anyway, I can still see me, so it's fine. Emma, do you think it would have worked as a found footage?
I think it would have been a different movie. But I think, personally, I have a lot of problems with the plot of the movie. Nothing to do with the atmosphere or the way it switched back and forth, but I have a lot of problems in there. So I think that maybe with what they were suggesting could have worked better. It would have had to be done a completely different way, though, so it would have been a different movie. It wouldn't have been what Flanagan had envisioned at all, and I think that's why he probably said no. But I would have I like found footage, so I would have liked, I'm thinking of it now in my head, how it could have played out and how you could have had security cameras back in the days when the kids were younger, and how you could pitch to different security cameras. And for me, it's showing something completely different then. And I would like to see someone, cool if it would recreated, and someone that made like a slightly different plot and did that. I think that would be quite interesting. But I can see why it didn't match with the vision. As the others have said, it wouldn't have matched with Flanagan's vision. So I can see why he said no.
I think I agree with what you're saying there, Emma, because it would have been interesting just to see the footage that they'd captured at some point maybe. But I did think it worked well as it was. I think it would have ruined if it was full found footage. I think it wouldn't have been
different.
It would have been very different. But I would have liked to have seen some of the perspective of the footage maybe, just to confuse me even more, probably. Oh dear. So obviously Flanagan expanded the premise to like feature length screenplay, and he found this quite challenging apparently, as he felt like he'd pushed it to the limit with the short and of what he could do with it. So the solution Flanagan came across was to combine the two storylines, as we've just mentioned, so the past and the present, intercut with each other, to give this like sense of distortion and disorientation to the viewer. and to try and get us into their shoes to experience that. So how did you feel watching it? Did you get that sense of disorientation? Did it work well for you, the concept past and present, Emma?
Yeah, I thought that was one of the clever parts of it. The cutaways, like they'd open a door and then it would be someone else opening the door. Then one would walk through and it would be somebody else. So and then they're swapping and I thought that was really clever. That would have taken a lot of thought, a lot of really deep thought to do that kind of crossover. And so I was quite impressed with that element of it. And I didn't know actually that it was a short beforehand, but now that makes a lot more sense to me, thinking about the writing of it and the way he would have expanded it and what he was trying to do. That now makes a lot more sense in my mind as to what happened with the plot and things. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. I think it was great. I think that was really well done. Yeah, it was good. It kept you on your toes, didn't it?
yeah, definitely. How about you, Brooker? Did you like that sense of disorientation? Did it work on you?
Yeah, I thought it worked really well. And it was always really cool when like he like splicing things together, or when there were moments of like the younger characters and like the present day characters like passing by each other like on the stairs or something like that.
Yeah, that was clever.
It also like worked really well for me because it felt like it was very much in theme of like mirrors and reflections and like the past and present reflecting each other. So I thought it was all very clever. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. How about you, Narissa? Did you like that element of like past and present?
I did. I really did. I remember being surprised when I first found out that it was done because he was struggling with knowing how to expand it. Because the first time I saw it, I assumed it was very purposeful. And I think I mentioned this to Brooker at some point ages ago. And I can only speak for myself. But for me, I have complex PTSD, and for me, when I first watched it, that was the closest I had ever seen to how it feels to have a flashback on screen. Like, that felt so effective. That, and I can only speak for my own experience of it. But yeah, that was so. And I suggested to like a couple of friends, like, watch this film because that's what it feels like when I'm having a flashback. But yeah, well, my sister was like, nope, I'm not watching anything with mirrors. And my friend was like, no, I'm too much of a scaredy cat these days. No.
That's like me. I was like, no, there is that.
But yeah, I was really surprised it wasn't intentional because it was so well done.
Yeah, it was like very
agree.
Calculated.
Yeah, very calculated, and they worked it out to like each. I just thought it was really good how they did it. Like you said, Brooker, with them being in the same room as their old selves and the younger selves, and that. I just thought it was really clever, and to a point I didn't know. It wasn't that I didn't know what was going on, but I was like, what? I was actually questioning: is this real? Is this not? Like, am I meant to feel like this?
But that works perfectly. That's
it works so well.
And I think probably Flanagan editing his own stuff and being a professional editor himself probably was a major factor in that all coming together so well.
Yeah. And thanks for sharing that as well, Narissa, about how, your own experience with it. That's amazing that you could see yourself or, see that in that film. And I really think that's kind of wonderful. I like it when people can see themselves in books or films and things like that. So thank you. So the Lasser glass, am I saying that right? The Lasser glass is obviously the main antagonist of the story. So it's a haunted antique mirror with the power to drive those in its immediate vicinity dangerously insane, usually resulting in homicide or suicide or both. So is the premise of the mirror as a scary villain scary to you, Brooker?
Yeah, it is. I thought it was like pretty unique, and I love the idea of haunted objects instead of like a haunted house. And if it wasn't like, because the structure is already really good with the, you know, back and forth between the times, but I almost wondered, because like it does set up like a haunted house movie, like they just moved into this house and like they just bought the mirror, so I almost wondered how the movie would have played out if it did just do like a traditional like linear haunted house movie, and like you don't really figure out is the mirror not the house till like halfway through the movie, and like I wonder like how that would have played out. But I did.
That's a good idea.
That would have been cool to see, actually, or like an alternative, you know, edit or something like that.
But it's already brilliant, cool. So we don't need to fix it. But it's already brilliant.
Oh dear. How about you, Emma? Did you like the mirror as like the villain of the story?
I did. I do like the same as Brooker. I like a haunted object as well. I think that's, you know, especially something you can't destroy. That's like, we can't destroy it. And I did think there was a few cliches in the setup in the beginning as well, but then I'm thinking it's 2013. Of course, there are going to be a few horror cliches. We've seen so many movies. I did find some things quite predictable, for, you know, in regards to the haunted mirror. Like, I knew what was going to happen, but other things I had no idea where the hell it was going. So I didn't know what this mirror was. I liked, you know what I really liked? that it was in Balmoral. That's all the royals' fault. So I thought they would have an evil bloody mirror, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they just? I bet they were summoning the demons right out of it. So yeah, I really thought that was really clever. I love that. So yeah,
until you just said that.
Yeah, in the beginning I was like, oh gosh, Flanagan, have you had a running with these people?
Oh dear. What were the horror cliches that you just mentioned? What did you
like Brooker was saying, like moving into the new house, you know, something weird going on in the new house. It's a classic haunted house kind of thing. Not being able to see things that aren't there, you know, one minute they're there, the next minute are you hallucinating, are you not, kind of that kind of tropey thing. So yeah, that was they were all the classic ones, weren't they?
Yeah.
There's also the people not believing each other when like they are.
Such a classic. Such a classic. How about you, Nerissa? Did you like the whole evil mirror concept?
Yeah. Like, yes, I'm always down for a haunted object. I think just taking something every day and making it scary. Something really enjoyable. And like horror cliches and tropes, I think if they're done well, I love them. If they're not done well, then I'm not. But if they're done well, I love them. And I remember like when Adam's teaser was on, I can't remember which book we were talking about.
Was it the 13, the short stories?
It was.
But he was saying, and I thought this was great, that he doesn't see tropes as a positive or a negative thing. They're just a thing. It's how you use them, and I really like that. And
totally agree.
That's so good. Yeah, I agree. And I thought the mirror was pretty scary, but more scary than when I look at the mirror in the morning. No, do you know what's really weird though? Like when we moved house last year, the house that we are in now.
Was that last year?
Yeah, I think it was. I just doubted myself. But yeah, so the bedroom that me and Kev are in, it's got fitted wardrobes in with mirrors on the front, and it's the worst thing ever. Because there's these four full-length mirrors, so every day I wake up and the first thing I see is myself in the mirror. And I don't look like this in the morning. I'm like,
peripheral in the mirror can really freak you out. Or like, has anyone had it where they've gone into like the kitchen or wherever, and before you click the lights on, when it's dark, you can see sort of your reflection in the window. And it sort of freaked out, like, oh, that's my reflection, because you think someone's outside. But that happened to the point of horror book that I read, and I was like, yes, please. So many times.
But it's so, honestly, it's so weird having these mirrors, because we just had a tiny mirror in the last place, and then sometimes I'm sitting on the bed and reading my book, and I feel like I see something, but it's literally just me moving. Because like they're that big, these mirrors, they're huge, and I don't like it. And I think, oh dear, I keep saying to Kev, I don't like these mirrors, and he's like, there's nothing I can do about it. I was like,
or are they properly built in?
They're properly built in, yeah. They're like they're massive. Four of these massive mirrors. Oh dear, it's not pleasant.
Seems a bit excessive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's them sliding
like one on each wardrobe.
It's like it's like you can slide them and that, but if you slide one,
I'm thinking like
I know what they are. Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it, especially after watching this film. I reckon they're haunted.
That's why I can't see you.
Oh yes. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, so I find the concept of a mirror quite scary because it scares me every day. But I also love the fact that the mirror kind of never took its own shape. So anything that we saw out of the mirror was kind of what they'd already possessed or killed before. So you never actually knew what the entity was in the mirror. And I thought that was quite clever. And I thought, oh, interesting. Kind of like that. So you never know. And Sharon's put mirrors has a portal to old magic. Yeah, old magic, definitely.
Oh, stop that, Sharon. I can't go near any of my mirrors.
I'm not going to sleep.
There's also like all those like urban legends, like Bloody Mary, like you know, like you go like Bloody Mary 3 times or something, and then like isn't it also the same thing with Candyman? Like, don't you have to?
Is it 5 times your Candyman? I think.
Yeah. Which me and my friends used to do when we were like 9 or 10 at sleepovers. Like, like,
we used to do.
We hadn't seen it, but like we knew about it.
I did. They tried to get me to do it at sleepovers, but I was always too much of a wimp. I was like, no, I can't. No. And no one suggests I do it in these mirrors that I've got in this house. No.
But
I dare you. Double dare.
So if you were to do like Candyman to like this haunted mirror, would like Candyman and the mirror be fighting each other? Would they get?
Oh,
yeah.
What would happen if it possessed the Candyman?
See, that's all they needed to do to save themselves. Was just to call Candyman, and he would just be there with his bees and his hook, and he would just. Yeah, that's a good question. Don't know who would. I think the mirror might win though. That's the scary thought.
The mirror's got a lot of other people in there.
Yeah. And then you've got all these possessed bees, these zombie bees going around as well. You don't want that.
Oh dear. Oh, so I love that. That's good idea. When I see a bee now, I'm not going to be able to. I'll be like, ooh,
zombie bee,
zombie bee. Oh dear. Everyone's just going to look at me like I've gone mad, and I'm like, Brooke and Nerissa and Emma would understand. So director Mike Flanagan has included the Oculus mirror as an Easter egg in most of his movies and TV shows, which I think is super cool because it's like, it never ends. So have you ever spotted the mirror in any of Mike Flanagan's other shows? Nerissa?
Yes, but not intentionally, as I said to you earlier.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there it is. And then I be able to.
Yeah.
Once I realised he was doing it, I was like, oh.
Yeah, so you just spot it regardless, because I mentioned to Nerissa that I've only ever spotted it once, and that was in the Fall of the House of Usher in the bar at the back, and that's just because obviously I was more aware of the film then, and I think it's in like the flashback scene with the two Usher. Yeah, I think it's a bar scene somewhere, but so I've never noticed it before myself until then because I was aware of it. So I think like Nerissa, I'd probably pick it up more a little bit now when I'm watching because I've got so much Mike Flanagan stuff to watch because I'm super behind.
Have you seen Midnight Mass, Shelley?
No.
Have you seen Midnight Mass?
Still haven't seen it yet.
That for me is his best. You must watch.
I haven't seen Midnight Mass. I haven't seen any of the haunted housey ones. I've not seen Dr. Sleep. I know. I am
director's cut. Don't see the studio cut.
Okay.
We're so lucky to have Narissa here. Advising us.
Director's cut.
Yeah, but Midnight Mass is so good, and with that one, Shelley, you can really. This feels really weird that I can't see you.
I know. I'm so sorry.
In that one, you can really, really see his influence from Christopher Pike. Reading Christopher Pike.
Maybe I might have to make that my next one.
That's a good point.
I need to catch up, definitely. I'm so behind.
The Haunting of Hill House is terrifying.
That was my favorite.
That's your favourite.
I remember there was a night I couldn't sleep. I was like, I'll put on some Hill House because I'd seen it before.
What?
And I was like, what's wrong?
I was like, the scary thing.
And I was like, but I did the thing of saying, his stuff is terrifying, and he'll terrify you and then go and break your heart, just like that.
Yes.
Like, this was a mistake.
I love though that like sometimes we find horror like a comfort watch as well. Like there's certain horror films and things that I could watch as just comfort, and it just like a little warm blanket. Like definitely Scream, like I could just put that on as like a little comfort blanket and things like that. But that's the joy of horror.
I think something I loved about his stuff from the start, which is probably why I keep going back to it, is that he obviously has a love of horror and understands what makes it work, and he takes time to build characters. Whereas like you'd get, particularly probably around when Oculus came out, and you would get so many things where it would feel like studios would be like, oh, that's an easy money grab, and not be like, no, but it's investing in characters is what.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I articulated that right, but hopefully you know what I mean.
It takes his time and builds that character, so you kind of get that emotional connection. I think that's what I've heard, and then scares you, like you said, scares you and then breaks your heart. So, Brooker, have you ever spotted the mirror in any of the other shows that you've seen? Or
to be honest, no, probably just because I forgot that he did. Like you know, if you like were to ask me who I know it's Mike Flanagan, but like it wasn't like at the forefront when I was watching those shows.
Yeah.
So I have to go back and like see if I can find that, because like I'm thinking about like certain scenes that have mirrors in them, but like I don't think it's like the mirror.
Oh no, it's not like some you can definitely see it, but some it's like a Midnight Mass, it's covered up. It's like
you can just make out that it is. I think it's in the basement, isn't it? In Midnight Mass, I think it was.
You're thinking Midnight Club.
Oh, Midnight Club. Sorry, yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's great too.
That was the one I couldn't spot it in. I didn't spot it in that one.
Okay. I can't take credit for that. I think I read that somewhere.
I think like the only like kind of like Easter egg between properties that he's done was Midnight Mass, because like that's the show, but like that's the title of the book that the main character is writing in Hush. It's called Midnight Mass. So that's like Easter egg that I've seen.
I love that. Yeah,
that's cool.
I really love it when like even in books and films where they tie things together and do little Easter eggs. I love it. It's like my favourite thing ever. Have you ever spotted it in anything else that you've watched, Emma? The mirror anywhere?
Well, because I hadn't watched Oculus, so I wasn't looking for it as well. Like everyone was saying, I wasn't looking for it. But then my husband was like, "Oh yeah, you know, it was in that Midnight Mass, wasn't it?" And I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "Where was it?"
Oh,
you know,
I like that.
So yeah, he did see it in the fall of the House of Usher as well, in a bar, or was it the nightclub that he was doing, or I can't remember. But yeah, he said he did see it.
Yeah, in the bar. Yeah, I think when they go, when the bar that they strike the deal in. I'm trying not to give too much away if no one's seen it.
Yeah.
Sharon said, "Time to worry if you look in the mirror and don't see yourself." Yes, that is very true. Kasha said, "Midnight Masses, also my favourite. It's perfection. Will absolutely tear you to shreds in joy." Oh, okay. I'm gonna watch that next.
It's very clever.
Sharon said, "Hill House is the best for me." Oh. And Kasha said, "Midnight Mass is also an original story and not an adaptation." Ah.
Yeah, I got that from it.
He's been wanting to make it for years, but he just couldn't get it done.
Okay.
And what a brilliant concept. We won't ruin it for Shelley, but what a brilliant concept. I mean, an original script. Yeah, amazing.
Ooh. I'll let you guys know when I've watched it. So the sister, is it Kaylee? I think it was. Really goes out of her way to prove that her brother didn't kill their parents, almost to the point that she's obsessed, and she's kind of, in a way, even though her brother's been put away in like a mental institute or whatever, she's kind of not been free from it either, because she's just been obsessed with it the whole time. So what did you think of their relationship together? Was Kaylee doing it out of love, or was she already possessed maybe by the mirror and she didn't realise?
More she wanted to prove her dad.
Yeah.
Like her dad wasn't abusive.
Yeah.
And like obviously that would then help clear the brother's name, but I kind of feel like she was more focused on
the dad.
Yeah. But then I mean, they coexist. Like you clear the dad, you clear. I don't know. It was sort of, she got so obsessed and fixated that she just wasn't focusing on your brother. You have your brother back.
Yeah.
And you can leave this alone, and because you can't really destroy the mirror, and it's kind of sad because like her obsession, it's like you could have just had your brother back.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Brooker? What do you think? Did you like their relationship? Or
yeah, definitely. I thought the relationship was like pretty compelling, and I kind of like what Narissa was saying earlier about how Flanagan does a good job at like developing characters. These were the two that he developed the most here. But yeah, like also like to some of the points that like some people are also like commenting down below about how like she like became obsessed. It almost felt like it's still like kind of reflecting the dynamic that with the parents and the siblings, and that like her dad was being kind of like seduced by the mirror in a way. It's not like so much seduction, but it's kind of like through her obsession to do it. It's like the mirror like is like, it almost like she fell into like the mirror's like plan for her to become so obsessed that she wouldn't just outright destroy it. She would have to like do this elaborate thing to try to prove it, just giving the mirror more time to like cause chaos for them.
Yeah.
I like.
Sorry, go on. No,
I was just going to say, it's like you were saying, like mirroring back and forth. Like, obviously, the mirror has like some sort of hold on the dad, and then he's getting like obsessed, and then she's obsessed with proving that the mirror is evil. And I thought, that it was such a good metaphor, for just someone getting obsessed with something, distracted from what's going on around them, and then it draining the life out of like the people around you, like the dying plants. It was sort of like draining the life. And I was thinking about like because the kids, like some think like the dad was having an affair and this and that, and it's sort of like I was just thinking about like things being unspoken suspicions, unspoken things, and just draining whatever it may be, whether it's unspoken tragedy or anything, just draining the life from a family or like a little group of people.
Yeah,
I thought that was a nice little.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Emma? Did you like their relationship?
I didn't buy them as brother and sister. I'm sorry, everybody.
Oh.
I didn't, because I've got a brother, and I just didn't see that. I saw it in the kids' performances. I saw it in, but in the adult two, I didn't see the same thing. I thought they were both separate, very good actors, separate. But as a brother and sister, I didn't see the bond that I saw in the kids.
But they've been apart half their lives.
Yeah, I know. But my brother lives halfway across the world, and I haven't seen him in like 10 years. As soon as I see him, bang, bond would be straight there. There's no question.
Yeah.
He lives in New Zealand. I haven't seen him for 10 years. I don't even speak to him half the time. But as soon as I step into his house and go, put the kettle on, Scott, that's it. It wouldn't make any difference. So I didn't, even though he's a little bit messed up and she's kind of obsessed, there's still that, I wanted that kind of sibling closeness that the kids had. I wanted them to have like a real, but I didn't feel it. And I didn't quite get, like, when she said, when she was a little girl, you have to promise me that we're going to come back and find this mirror. I'm like, why? Why would you say that trauma that's just happened to you as a small child? And then you're like, oh, we're going to come back and we're going to get this thing. I'm like, why are you saying that? That didn't feel right to me either, because I know I work on a children's floor. I have 3 children. It would be like, we're never going near that again. I wish they'd have gone, we're not ever. Don't get obsessed about it, because we're never going near it again. And then he comes out and she's messing with it, and he's like, what did I bloody well tell you? Don't go there. You know, stop touching that mirror. I would have liked it more to be, you know, one of them not wanting to, like, I don't believe it. I don't want you to stop bringing that up, you know. But instead it was like, promise me we'll come back and do this. I don't think that's the right reaction personally. I think the right reaction is we get as far away from this as possible, and then, like Narissa was saying, she's so obsessed that she can't leave it alone. And you know, she's brought her brother into this crazy after he was so traumatized because he thought he'd killed his dad. So yeah, I thought it was not as on point as his other characters for me personally, but that's just because I'm thinking of my sibling connection.
No, I think part of me wondered a little bit, because obviously I get the disconnect to a certain extent, because obviously he'd been away, like Larissa said, and put away and that. So I get that there was a bit of a disjoint, but part of me just thought afterwards, maybe back then the mirror did possess her in a way
that would make
more
sense.
Don't see or don't know, and that's why she was so obsessed with it. Because obviously the mirror wanted to feed. Like, the first thing she says to the mirror is, I bet you're hungry. And I'm like, like, it just made me wonder.
On souls.
Yeah, so it just made me wonder that the mirror wouldn't let her have that relationship with the brother, because then the mirror would be forgotten, kind of thing. That's what I was thinking in my head, but that could
be right. That could be right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, but you know, you never know. But I think it's open to interpretation anyway, which is, you know, brilliant thing about it, really.
I kind of feel like something he's done in a few things is sort of have these sibling relationships where it's almost like they're not that close as adults.
Yeah.
I just didn't buy them. Whether they were close or not, I just didn't buy the actors were siblings. I didn't feel it. That's all I feel.
Yeah. I think
I do get that, but I think
it was just, I think it was, I personally, I think it was meant to make you feel a bit like that, just a little bit, just because of that disjoint. It's that sense of unease again, isn't it? And disorientation and stuff. So it kind of just fits with the theme of the film, really. Definitely.
Maybe it depends on, like, your own sort of familial relationships. If you've got a really close family, maybe you can't imagine.
Right.
Like, me and one of my siblings were not very close. Like, it can feel like being around a stranger sometimes. Whereas if you've got really close siblings, maybe like.
But they weren't close when they were little. Like I just said, I don't speak to my brother. I've not spoken to him in 10 years, and I speak for his wife about the children. And it's because if I'm not in his world, he's got his own world in New Zealand. And if I'm not directly in it, then he doesn't bother, because it's almost painful for him to speak to people that aren't directly in his world and miss them. So I get that completely. I don't push him. I don't say get on the Skype. I don't video him. Nothing like that. So I've literally had no contact with him for 10 years. But I know as soon as I step off the plane and step in his front door, it's a different, that connection when you're little kids.
It'll just be,
if you're closest little kids, like they were close, they were like that would knitted them. It just didn't feel.
That's something that can like then push you apart. That
was just me. I just felt the kids did a better job. That was good. It's just me.
It is good in a way though, because it opens up conversations and things, which is, it's again genius of Mike Flanagan, because it's just so many different interpretations that you could have on it.
Oh, absolutely. It's completely subjective. Other people feel completely different.
It's sort of like, but I do get what you're saying, what people are saying. It's almost like, it's not that they had like no on-screen like chemistry, but it didn't seem as good as the kids. I agree with that, Narissa. They didn't quite seem as good as the kids. I don't know what it was. They were so good, those kids.
They were so good.
Honestly, like, it was like, rather than being like this, it was sort of like
But
that's not, but there's exactly the performances. It just, I get.
What are you saying, Brooker?
Oh, I was just going to say, I wonder if we're feeling that way because the child actors, there was a lot of like Kaylee wanting to be like the protective older sibling, and like her like trying to comfort Tim a lot in it, and like them like helping each other. And then when they're adults, they're definitely like at odds. Like they're trying to persuade each other to like their own side of the argument about what's wrong with their family, what actually happened, and like they're arguing more as adults.
When we mostly see them interact, they're in the house around the mirror.
Right.
We see a bit when she like picks it, like they have dinner at like some hotel room when he doesn't want to stay with her. And that would probably be awkward. Like you haven't really seen each other in 10 years and stuff. But and like the circumstances. The whole time they are around the mirror, which does.
And it makes people doing intense things. So I was waiting for something really intense from the brother and sister, like a really intense emotional moment from them. And I didn't feel like I like before all the drama starts really kicking in, like something really intense, like, I said I'd protect you, I said that, but we've got to do this. I didn't feel it didn't come across for me. I don't know, but I get what you're saying about the disconnect with him being in therapy, and he's trying to like rationalize everything, isn't he? He's just like, this is not
everything in the
past. Put it at the back.
I don't want to go near that mirror.
At least he had told to like free the dog.
Yes.
Right. Oh yes. Oh, that poor dog. I was like that for the dog.
I will say, in the short film, I don't think the dog makes it.
Oh really?
No. I don't think. No. You don't see anything. But
that's sometimes worse, Narissa. But you have to make it up in your head.
I might be remembering wrong because it's been years since I watched it. But you know how in the film she has it it's covered. She has a cloth over. So I think it's like that. It's been a long time since I saw it.
But what a thing to do! Feed the dog to the mirror. What a thing to do!
Oh no! I was like, she can't do that, surely.
So that comes into your theory, Shelley, that she's definitely possessed by it already. Because who would do that to the poor doggy?
Honestly, I think for once I've cracked it.
Like she's been so obsessed with it over the years that she
doesn't care if the dog gets eaten.
They cared about their childhood dog, so it's not like she doesn't give a crap about.
No. Yeah. Was that your dog?
Oh, the dog.
No, neighbour's dog.
Oh.
My dog.
Watch out! The neighbour's dog.
My doggy is always really quiet. Did you see it? I don't know.
So cute.
Sorry.
We love
that might have just been a shot off my wall. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Too Fond of Books said Midnight Mass has a similar feel to old Stephen King stories. And also she loved the Haunting of Hill House and Midnight Mass. And Too Fond of Books said as well, Kaylee was definitely obsessed about proving it actually happened. Sharon said she should have just broken the mirror, silly. but then would each broken piece be a separate evil? Ooh. So if the mirror shattered, would it all be separate? Oh dear.
Imagine if people just made them into different mirrors, because it's a piece of the Balmoral family kind of royal thing, so they make them into all little ones, and then people are carrying them around in their bags.
Putting their makeup on. Oh dear. Too Fond of Books said it would have been better if she let go, so her obsession led to her end ultimately. Yeah, definitely. And also, Too Fond of Books says, I don't think that they had a good adult bro-sister relationship. She cared as much about him as the dog. Yeah. She was just so obsessed with that mirror. She was obsessed.
Yep.
So did you have a favourite scene in the film, Brooker?
There were two that stuck out, but I'm saving one of them for a future part. But one that I really liked, and I'm just a sucker for like these types of scenes in movies, but it's when Kaylee is kind of explaining the plan, like when they're in the room, like explaining how she has all these things set up, all the timers and the cameras, and I'm just like a sucker for stuff like that. And also just like having like a science background, I'm like thinking about like, oh, okay, if this is like an experiment she's trying to do, what like bases do you want to cover and everything? And I'm like, I don't know, I found that really fun, and I was like, oh, she's like being kind of like a smart horror character, but if she was actually smart, she would just destroy it, not worry about getting evidence. But yeah, so I thought all that was really fun. I really liked that part.
And the way that she puts it across as well, like the way that Gillian delivers that, though, that whole scene was just brilliant. She's just like bang, 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 like straight. I loved it.
She's saying it so fast, it's almost like she's been waiting years for this to just burst out.
Just to come out. Possessed.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah, no, that was a really good scene. Yes. That was. How about you, Emma? Did you have a favourite scene?
Oh, it had to be when she bit into the light bulb.
Oh.
I'm just so simple, so effective. I really wanted it to be real though, and for her not to have hallucinated it. I really wanted it to be real, that she'd actually done this, and but it was good. I like that. She's what I thought, something's going to go on there.
Because you see it and you're like, oh yeah, she's going to pick up the light bulb and bite into that, but then she picks up the apples. You're like,
yeah, exactly. And she doesn't do what her mother does. She picks up the apple. Yeah, that's what I liked. I thought, and then I was like, oh
no. But it's so well done, the gagging, because you can almost feel like
I was physically cringing at that point. Like when somebody's pulling it out of her mouth, I was like, oh no, oh god, no, because you're gonna make it worse no matter what, but you've got to get it out of your mouth. So it's no,
that horrible thing of it, just like feeling like she'd be like just stuck because it.
Be horrible.
It reminds me of one time. This was years and years and years ago, and me and my ex were eating like nacho chips, and like a tiny little like fragment of it. So like it felt like a tiny triangle of it got stuck in my throat, but like and it really really hurt, and I was like, help me.
Oh no.
I was like, you could hand me a drink so I can try it. I can't do anything. That was so painful.
Oh no, I don't like. Now I'm going to be scared of nachos.
Haunted nachos.
What have you got to do about nachos?
Oh dear, that was such a good scene. That was such a good scene. How about you, Larissa? Did you have a favourite scene?
I don't know.
Everything.
I haven't thought specifically about specific scenes. I don't know. Sorry, that's rubbish answer.
No, that's fine.
It was more the overall effect.
The feeling that it gives you and things like that. Yeah, definitely.
Like that. it's something I always like about him, that he doesn't do like, you know, so many horror films. It'd be like when it's getting creepy and you have like suddenly like there's a ghost or something there. I mean, obviously it builds up towards at the end.
Yeah.
But, like early on, he doesn't go like dun dun dun, like oh look, she's looking in the mirror and there's 3 mannequins, but behind her there's only you know. He
I thought that was creepy.
Naturally.
Oh yeah, the mannequin scene. Yeah.
It doesn't have it jump at her. Like it's just that.
It's very subtle.
Yeah, definitely. I love the scene with the husband. You know, when she kills, is it a husband or fiance or something?
It can't be worried that you loved that.
This one.
Yes.
The blood. The blood.
Narissa said, should we be worried? I love that. But I loved it because I was sitting there thinking, has she done it? Has she not done it? She couldn't have, because like she looked on the floor and the pottery, the plate weren't on the floor. So it got me in that moment, and I was thinking, I was really questioning, is it real? Is it not? Exactly like she was in that moment. But he didn't deserve to die, bless him.
She kicked the pot plant, didn't she? That's what it was.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and like I was still thinking, no, it's not real, and then it turned out to be real, and I was like, oh, actually, I kind of like that.
Did you like the camera that she was using the camera to see what was real and what wasn't? Now, for me, that was very clever.
Yeah,
you know, can I believe my own eyes? Well, it's on, you know, on camera. Yeah, I thought that was a clever idea. To go through a screen, it'd be filtered differently.
Definitely. So obviously by the end, like the kill switch that she set up kind of like pays off. Pays off. You know what I mean? Literally, it becomes the kill switch. So, and then obviously you get that whole scene of the brother being arrested again, and like history repeating itself. So I've seen a few reviews where people didn't like the ending. So for you, did you like the end, Brooker?
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not a happy ending, but I mean, I kind of like that he didn't do that, just because, you know, it's horror. Not everything has to end happy. And it's stuck in theme with the movie, and like it kind of like helped with the formatting of like going back and forth between the past and the present, and because they were like, because like both timelines were like consistent in like what they were leading to, and it like made sense for it to end that way, because they were both going towards the same end. So I mean, it is bleak, but I like it.
Yeah. How about you, Emma? Did you like the ending?
I like the full circle. I like a full circle, full circle. Like, killed my dad, killed my sister. But what I didn't like was when that big, what was it, an anchor? That was that big slicey thing that sliced through her head into the mirror. What I didn't like was that was set up to kill the mirror. Why didn't you just try and kill the mirror with it in the first instance? You know it's evil, just kill it. But,
she was that obsessed with trying to prove something was going on, wasn't she?
But also, I knew as soon as I saw that was going through her neck. So that just ruined that for me, because I knew instinctively that someone was buying that and it was probably going to be her. And then when it happened, I was like, oh, damn. Oh, no. But obviously, the scene itself was great from a morbid perspective. But yeah, I don't need a happy ending either. I always like a bit of a jump scare at the end. I always like to think what's going to happen next. Although I would have liked to know more about all the other times that the mirror had done this, and all the other people, and I would have liked to know how it came about, where it came from, what's its purpose, you know, all those things that weren't tied up in a neat little bow. I know it's intended to leave you guessing, but I was like, I really would have liked to know where it comes from and why they can't destroy it, and what would destroy it. You know, flames, kryptonite, what does it? Just in case I come across one, you know.
just in case. Oh dear. How about you, Narissa? Did you like the way it ended?
Yeah, I'm the total opposite of Emma. I don't need to know I don't need to know all that information. I'm just like, okay, evil mirror, right, let's go. But I totally get why people are like, why people have that thing of needing to know, but I'm definitely not one of those people. I did enjoy it. I do remember the first time I watched it. I don't know if I can't have forgotten about the kill switch because it was, well, Chekhov's kill switch. It was going to happen. But I do remember, I don't know if I was just so wrapped up in it the first time I watched it that I was like, it's not as impactful on multiple viewings, but I would be okay with it. I think my only thing this time was I was like, in the past, would they have so immediately just carted off a 10-year-old?
Right.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of it before, but I just sort of like went with it. But then it was like, wouldn't they have like
they didn't seem to question
them both,
did they?
take them both into like protective custody? Because
is that because so many kids kill people with guns?
I don't know.
Is that why they would do it?
It seemed a bit like, I don't know. Because, then I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You do hear about like awful things happening. With
they were very quick to take him off, weren't they? In the police car, because it
seemed very much like. I mean, obviously he went to hospital and stuff, but it just felt very.
See,
I don't know, because it's like a 10-year-old didn't pull out that woman's teeth.
No.
Exactly. And also like, his sister is like a witness to like everything that happened. And
they kind of make her
more he was screaming, mirror, mirror, it's the mirror. And you're like, okay, buddy. But then
we just lost
maybe it's a case of remembering it that way, because as a kid it probably they were taking it as a more protective thing, but as a kid that would feel like, oh my god, the police, that's big, like big taken away.
I lost you there a bit, Brooker. Just repeat what you were saying.
I was just saying that his sister was there and she like witnessed everything. And also like it was obvious that like they were like being abused and like neglected by their parents. Everything. So
I'm wondering if it's just like how, because so much has been like them remembering. So maybe it's just how it felt. But it did.
That's a good point.
I did take it out this time.
See, for me, like I think I overthought this film like after I'd finished watching it, but for me I was like, well, talking about the present day rather than, well, no, I feel like the Mirror set up the plan of action of their lives basically when they were younger. And then obviously him being let out of the institute he was in, it was always the Mirror's plan to get him back in there. That's what I was thinking. So, that's what happened. So I was kind of like overthinking it a little bit.
Hey, where's this person coming from?
No.
When they're like in the house doing the experiment, they do notice that the radius of how far it can reach with the plants, it goes further and further as time goes on. So it could be that by the time the police got there as kids, it was out on the lawn. Because remember,
you saying it affected the police, Larissa?
Yeah.
Oh.
Remember, he went outside to call, and they were like calling for help, and then suddenly it'd be like, then he had to redial, like, and they'd be like, 911, you need to get your father to call.
Yeah.
So actually, maybe it was the Mirror.
And then like in what I was saying, like maybe therefore the Mirror protects itself, like it doesn't crack or anything as a protection. It also protects itself from people who know about what it does. So kill the sister. When they tried to hit
it with a golf club,
So like kill the sister, put him back in the hospital. That was always the design plan, a bit like Final Destination style. Always the design
did have one
plan.
Crack in it though, didn't it? The Mirror. One of the people managed to crack it.
Yeah, it was when the dad hit it when he got shot. Cracked.
And I picked up something that Emma mentioned about maybe wanting to know a bit more about the people who were affected by the Mirror. So I wonder, it was perfectly set up for sequels, right? That ending, or sequels or prequels. But would we have wanted that? I mean, I know Emma's going to say, yeah, I would have wanted to see, but like a sequel or a prequel? Maybe,
like
Emma, sequel or
those,
prequel?
when she was holding up all those photos,
Yeah.
evidence, going through all the people, I was just like, what is going on here? So in my mind, I was like, I want to know what happened to you, what happened to you, what happened to you, and who got the first mirror. So that was kind of making me think, you know, what's going on? Because she was obviously gone down a rabbit hole there, and I went right with her.
Yeah, no, same. A bit like, you know, when we watched 13 Ghosts, like we wanted to know all about the ghosts and their past history and how they got like that. I kind of do want to know all of the entities in the mirror. Like, I want to know their backstory. So I would have loved prequels, I think, rather
but like
than
Narissa, I don't mind something that's unexplained, an unexplained object, but I felt because there was so many, because she was going through so many of these people, I was like, I kind of want to know how this thing came around, you know, and what their stories are and how they went nuts.
Pop up in a mini series, they're like little.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, like
series.
Got like little like other ghost tales in in Bly Manor and the Hill House. You got tales about the other. You never know.
Yeah, he does a series really, really well, doesn't he? His series, his able to stretch a story over so many episodes is really, really clever. You're engaged on every single one. So maybe he could do that.
No, Sharon, I don't think so. Sharon sequels, like no, I think it might be muddled. Are you getting muddled with Mirrors? There's a like horror film called Mirrors or something.
Oh.
Not like would you
would you have wanted a sequel or prequel, Brooker, or mini-series like Melissa suggested?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think with the like all the examples that you mentioned that she showed, it would be really cool to do like a period piece and like do this story, but because there won't be like cell phones, like other like technology in it, so like see like how like creepy it will get without all that stuff too. I also I want to see one with because the brother Tim is still alive. I mean, obviously he's gonna be like incarcerated, but I would love to see like him either like getting out of prison somehow, or just like him now trying to convince other people that the mirror needs to be destroyed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So there's so many possibilities. Like, I was like fully like, oh my, I need to know more. I just need more. That's why I kind of think it's interesting that he uses the mirror as the Easter egg in his other series, because I just thought, so it's like it lives on.
Maybe he's not finished with that mirror.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's what other places are haunted. It's not the houses. It's just this mirror that he's putting off of his shows.
Yeah, that's it. Melina says, love all these theories. And Melina said, I thought the same, Emma. I wanted all the stories. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, it really did. This film really did make me think. Like, that's why I think like I'm like really like pleased with myself that I've come up with some decent theories for a change. But
Shelley!
I know. I was like, who am I? But it just really made me think, and I just thought he's just a genius, Mike Flanagan. Like, I'm completely sold.
She's not the real Shelley. She came out the mirror.
Yeah. Marissa can't see.
Real Sherry wouldn't come up with that stuff.
It's so true. But it really got into my head, and I just couldn't. I've been thinking about it since I watched it, and I'm thinking, and especially like when I was putting some questions together, and I was thinking, oh God, well, it could be this or it could be this, and then my mind was just going into like overdrive mode, and I was like,
brilliant.
Mike Flanagan is a genius, really.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's just what I kept thinking. I thought it's got me thinking all weekend about this film and the characters, and I was like, chef's kiss. Yes. Oh, well, thanks guys. I know we've gone a little bit over time, but thanks for chatting. I've loved sharing theories with you all. It's been absolutely brilliant, and hearing everyone's thoughts as well. I was dying to see what you all thought about it. But thank you for joining us, and thank you for in the comments as well. Fabulous comments and joining in.
Thanks everyone.
Do check out Emma, Marissa and Brooker's pages. Brooker's got a brilliant podcast. So go and check that out, because fabulous. Like, just the way you talk about horror and movies and things is just brilliant, and I always find it really relatable as well. So yeah, I'm a huge Brooker fan.
I'm a huge Shelley fan.
Especially after all these theories, I feel like a genius.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
You are a
downstairs
genius,
to Kev.
Shelley.
I'm gonna go downstairs to Kev and go, I've decided I'm not going to murder you with a pot plant. I'm actually a genius.
You'll be released, I'm sure.
I'm coming up with a better idea now.
The partner suddenly said that to me, but like, well, I didn't think you were good. That's not about it.
And just in you're real.
Yeah. And
just in case,
just in case the police ever watch this and something happens, I didn't do it. I promise.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. Oh, it was the mirror.
Brilliant.
Oh, well, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brooker. Thanks, Dorothy. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.